What's up, guys? Hold on. Back with another video here again, and I'm here to talk about the something that's really been on my mind lately, and that's the future of the DCEU. Now, Wonder Woman was supposed to come out this year, but because of everything that's going on, they had to push it back. So let's start from the beginning with Zack Snyder's vision for the DCEU. Now, the whole thing started with Man of Steel, and it wasn't supposed to lead into anything. It wasn't supposed to start anything like a franchise or a whole universe like they were planning on doing. They just made the movie, and based on the response that they got, they were going to make future movies. And Man of Steel is a solid beginning. When I first heard about it, I didn't really think much of it, but when I first saw it, I thought it was a great movie. However, rewatching it, there are a few flaws with it, and I think one of the biggest flaws is that they were trying to copy what David S. Gore and Nolan were trying to copy what worked for the Dark Knight series, for the Superman series, and you just can't do Superman like that. Superman isn't one of those dark, gritty characters like Batman is. He's the savior of the city. He's the savior of Metropolis, and he's like the all-American Boy Scout. So you can't do what works for one character to another character. So as far as Man of Steel goes, it was a okay debut. However, like I said, there are a few flaws with it, like killing off Superman's adoptive dad. That didn't make any sense. That was just stupid. The destruction of Metropolis, that kind of bothered me. If they were going to do that, they should have had a follow-up with it, like him having repercussions of his actions, like maybe in a sequel. This is my sequel pitch, like in the sequel of Man of Steel, based on the fallout of Man of Steel. All he's trying to gain the trust and respect back of the city, and he actually is the reason why Metallo is created in the first place. And Metallo is the villain for Man of Steel 2, and Lex Luthor takes him and finds his mangled up body from the battle between Superman and Zod, and reconstructs them, and that's how he becomes Zod, and that's what leads into Metallo and Superman having this big confrontation in the second movie. That's the only reason I would do the destruction of Metropolis, leave the destruction of Metropolis like how they left it. Other than that, they could have gone the way I just did, or they could have done just Superman 2 again and just have Superman throw him in the Phantom Zone. But I don't really have much to complain about within Man of Steel. However, when it comes to Zack Snyder's follow-up, oh God, I don't know what the hell you guys see in. Well, before I talk about Dawn of Justice, let's talk about Suicide Squad real quick. Now, this was supposed to. Now, this just happened out of nowhere. It was completely rushed. They just went into it. They only had 6 weeks to write the script, so they didn't really have a lot of time to give the characters depth or anything. The villain was weak. The plot was weak. How are we supposed to believe that any of those members of the Suicide Squad are capable of taking down Superman or Batman? They would Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all those guys would mop the floor with them. I was just talking with my cousin about this, but if you want to see what Suicide Squad is like, watch that episode in, I think it was, he was telling me there was this episode in Justice League Unlimited. I can't remember what the name of the episode is called, but when they ran into Martian Manhunter, they were like in fear, like, oh crap, we don't want to mess with this guy. But if anything, the villain in this movie should have been Joker, and they should have took their time with this movie instead of just rushing it to get it out. And also they went a little lighter with this movie because of I'm going to talk about this later, right after this, but they went a lot lighter with this movie with Dawn of Justice because of the backlash with Dawn of Justice. So they went a lot lighter and had more jokes in it, but it just didn't work. And Jared Leto's Joker, my God, is the worst ever. I mean, he was so cringy. He's at the bottom of the list. He's not even Joker. He just looked like a broke down pimp or a freaking drug dealer, and it just did not come off right at all. As far as now with Dawn of Justice, oh my God, I don't know why the fans I can't see why the fans actually enjoyed this movie. There's not one single thing in this movie I actually like. I can't name one thing in this movie I actually like. The problem was with Zack Snyder was that he was trying to put all his eggs in one basket, and they were trying to rush to get to Justice League instead of taking their time with putting out solo movies. So they decided to cram everything in Dawn of Justice. The guy that plays Lex Luthor in this movie, I can't remember his name, but he plays in that Zombieland movie. I can't remember his name at the moment, but his version of Lex Luthor, god awful, terrible. I hate it. Lex Luthor is supposed to be this genius, narcissist, billionaire, like DC's Norman Osborn. That's basically how it's supposed to be like. If you want to see how Lex Luthor really is, go back and watch Superman the Animated Series or Justice League or Justice League Unlimited. Even the way they did it in Smallville is better than how they did it in this movie. And he just came off as really cringy, and it just didn't feel right to me at all. As far as with Ben Affleck's Batman, I understand where they were going with that, but I mean, seriously, what the hell? I don't care how people try to spin it. A lot of people try to defend it, but Batman should never, ever kill. Ever. There may have been a couple versions, there may have been a few versions early on in the comics where he may have done that, and maybe they changed it up, but the kill count in this movie, even in the dream sequence, is just ridiculous. And that's the one thing that also baffles me and pisses me off. The dream sequence. Let's talk about that. What the hell? Why the hell would he have a dream about Darkseid and he never even met the guy yet? It makes no sense to me. And all you people that say, "Oh, it was just the Flash that created that inside his head to make him dream that." There's no way in hell that he can. The Flash doesn't have powers to make someone see into the future or make someone dream. I mean, that's just a stupid explanation for you fans that were trying to defend it. And also the whole Robin the Robin being dead thing, that may have worked only if Jared Leto's Joker didn't suck, and if the if the Robin in the movie was not um, Dick Grayson, because when fans found out that it was the Dick Grayson Robin instead of Jason Todd, that just ruined everything. And the whole premise of Batman Under the Red Hood is that basically you're not supposed to, that vengeance is never the answer, no matter what someone does to you. But they completely threw that out the window because Batman is killing almost halfway throughout the movie, and he even tried to kill Superman in the movie. So it wouldn't make sense for them to do a Batman Under the Red Hood movie. And as far as all those sequences on that flash drive with Wonder Woman and the Flash and Cyborg and all that, that was just stupid. I didn't understand it at all. They were just, like I said, they were just throwing everything in the basket. They were putting all their eggs in one basket. They were just trying to cram everything in just to get to Justice League. And that did not work at all, not a little bit. And the worst part was that from the fallout of Man of Steel with the destruction of Metropolis, Superman didn't even seem remorseful about that. They didn't even, I don't even think they acknowledged it in this movie, which was a huge disappointment. And this movie, I don't understand why fans enjoy the movie at all. I mean, it is completely terrible, and the whole Martha scene, yeah, let's not get into that. But and they completely ruin Doomsday. Doomsday is the I will say that I did like the size comparison between the two. However, his death didn't mean anything. I didn't feel sad at all. If you really want to feel emotion towards Superman's death, watch the cartoon movie of Superman and Doomsday. The Death of Superman and Superman Doomsday. There's two versions of the movie. One of them they showed on Cartoon Network when Cartoon Network was watchable, and the other one they showed like the other one dropped maybe a couple of years ago, like on DVD. I can't remember, but his death just came out of nowhere, and it just didn't mean anything. And well, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And on to Justice League. Justice League was a lot more complicated than Dawn of Justice because Zack Snyder was going through his personal issues, and then he left, and then Josh Whedon took the steering wheel. But that movie was already doomed from the start. And for the people that keep asking for that limited edition or whatever, or the Zack Snyder edition, it's not going to make the movie any better. Who cares? Let it go. If it does get released, okay, great, but it's not going to make the movie any less terrible. I mean, if you look at that movie, it's just, the CGI is terrible, the plot is weak, the villain is weak. The movie is just a whole ripoff of the Avengers. I mean, the main villain, the villain of the movie that gets sent to Earth by the main villain to look for a cosmic cube. Is there no resemblance at all? And the whole Batman being the Nick Fury or the Tony Stark of the group, gathering everyone around. That was just dumb. They could have just. I personally, I preferred how they did it in the Justice League cartoon with the alien invasion and Martian Manhunter gathering everyone around and them working together, and then they become a group. I liked it better that way because the way Bruce did it, I mean, the way they did it, it just seemed strange to me. Batman is the type of person that'll go out of his way to recruit people. He's more of a loner. And the whole CGI on the mustache thing with Superman, that was just confusing. They could have just told Henry Cavill to shave it or whatever. I mean, I guess they could have left it on there, but it wouldn't make sense to have a beard, a bearded Superman unless he came back from the death, unless he came back from death, which he did. But I mean, yeah, that's all I have to say about the about Zack Snyder's visions for DCEU. Let's hope it gets better in the future. Personally, in my opinion, I think that, one of the weakest problems a couple of other issues that they had was that they were announcing all these movies that they weren't sure was going to happen before it even happened. So they didn't have anything planned out. They would just throw things to the walls to see if they would stick. And that's possibly the worst thing you could do, is don't plan these movies ahead of time if you don't know if they're going to happen. And let the audience decide if the movie is let the audience dictate the movie. If you get a positive reaction, then you announce these movies ahead of time. Then you can announce these movies after, but don't announce like 12 movies at once. It just doesn't make sense. And I could be here all day talking about this crap, but let's hope it gets better in the future. To be honest, it's already dead in the water. I thought it was dead in the water at the dawn of justice. But let me know what you guys think of the DCEU. Do you think it's still worth saving? Do you think it's dead? Personally, I think it's dead. But ever since Snyder has left, I will say it has gotten better, a lot better. But let me know what you guys think. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, man. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.